Nice to meet you.
I'm the Chief Administrator for SDEC, which is a Southeastern Diabetes Awareness Camp for Kids.
Okay.
I was just out here looking for some participants for our camp at the park. Do you know anybody, young kids who have diabetes?
Yes, my 3-year-old son, he's actually over there now playing with his dad.
And go. Yeah. Making monkey noises again. Yeah, keep holding on, Goober. Little monkey. Keep going.
We actually have a family history of diabetes. I was actually diagnosed with gestational diabetes when I was pregnant with my son. My parents have diabetes. My sisters and brothers also have diabetes.
Alright. Pretty much do you do things around the house to keep them active?
Well, of course, most importantly, I try to limit his TV time. We often go to the park, ride bikes, walk the dog, play frisbee. I try to keep him as active as possible. I just signed him up for T-ball in our community, and he's really excited about that.
That sounds like you're doing a good job. They also have Wii Sports. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, I did.
Alright, you can purchase that for them if you like playing video games. They have nowadays they have them where they go real active and they interact with the actual game, because nowadays the generation tends to stay at home and play video games all day, but at least this one you'll be more active. Other things you could do, like you said, you get them involved in T-ball. Team sports is great just to have them out there active. The reason we want them to be active is because at least 60 minutes a day of exercise will help a child with diabetes, and the 60 minutes does not have to be necessarily 60 minutes at one time. It could be 30 minutes, then 20 minutes, and another 10 minutes, but just as long as they're being active, that would be the best part. At the camp, we pretty much, it's almost similar to like this. We just have the young kids out there playing around, just being active, running around, interacting with other kids, just building character and stuff like that. We also have stages in the camp for older kids when they're around the ages of maybe 12, 13, 14. Those we tend to focus more on flexibility, aerobic exercises, and strength and conditioning. Flexibility, kids with diabetes tend not to stretch a lot, so while we're at the camp, we have them do morning exercises which they stretch all the muscles in their body. Then we let them go out there and play. We have organized football, flag football, softball, volleyball, to get them active. We also have strength training for them. We actually have strength and conditioning coaches there. They're interns from the school. It just keeps they lift weights. It's minor weights. It's nothing too intense. It's just minor things just to get them just to build their weight up. That's pretty much it as far as that goes. But the camp is pretty much just it's a fun-loving camp. All the counselors are pretty good. They'll be talking to you later on.
Sounds interesting.
Yes, we're just a pretty family-based camp, so if you just wouldn't mind come seeing us.
Okay.
More
I sure will. Thank you, and it was nice to meet you.
Same here.
Okay.
When you're evaluating a patient for anything, especially when they're diabetic, you have to evaluate them specifically for what you're trying to do. And with a child that's diabetic, you need to go through extensive testing as far as trying to control their glucose level. With any program, as far as for a diabetic, you should go through an extensive medical evaluation that includes things like trying to compensate for muscle loss, ligaments, bone growth, joints, and other extravagant problems that can occur. In identification of these areas, you should acquire a program that's going to fit that child the best. So here at Southeastern's Diabetic Camp, we try to provide these services to the best of our ability. We try to undergo testing that takes a type 1 diabetic into metabolic control, showing them how to control their level before exercise, during exercise, and after. We also want to avoid excessive glucose fasting, which some people do when they're trying to go on a diet, as far as a child who may be obese. Because if you parents don't know that a lot of children who are obese are prone for becoming diabetics. So we try to tell parents, don't cut back on so much of the good things, just some of the bad things. We also show parents what levels to look for and how to test for it. We try to tell them to keep their children hydrated with fluids. Water is always a good thing, but if you can't have water, if your child doesn't like water, you can always get other things that are healthy for their child. We try not to let parents do a dramatic change in the child's diet, for as just taking them from eating fried foods to just eating all healthy foods. That's a big transition to do all at once. So we ask parents to take their time when they're trying to assess these problems and try to listen to their children when they're trying to get them to do and learn different things as far as their health is concerned. We also try to tell parents not to let their children consume carbohydrate-rich foods in excess, because carbohydrates are not all totally bad, so you would like your child to enjoy carbohydrate foods that are not overly rich, meaning you have to watch the proportion size of what you're giving your child, especially because they're diabetic. Also, when you're preparing a child for an exercise program like we provide, you want it to be enjoyable for the parent and the child. So we try to provide a system where we make activities fun for the counselors and the child as well as the parent. Also, when you're talking about a diabetic child and exercise and trying to illustrate a program to fit that child, you need to try to compensate for severe diabetes in a child. Severe diabetes can occur a systematic problem like ketoacidosis, where you have a child that accumulates a high pH level that's teeter towards acidity, and it can become a very bad problem if it's not watched carefully. The person can have a fruity smell. It can be seen as confusion in a young adult or a child. They can be very thirsty all the time. They can have excreted urine excessively. A lot of other things can occur, but here at the camp that we provide, our counselors are very aware of these situations, and we try to take care of the children as best as we can. But my partner can fill you in on a lot more things as far as health and things that we try to provide the children here with.
As a parent, you know that exercise automatically increases the child's sensitivity to the insulin that they receive. You should talk with their doctor about changing insulin doses during exercise to compensate. Think about the last time that they had insulin and when it may peak during exercise. You should always check the blood glucose before they exercise. And if it's low, they're going to need to eat a snack and then wait for it to come back up. If it's not low, they may still need a snack, but it depends on how much activity and how their body reacts to it. You should check with their doctor to see when they should eat accordingly. We have some snacks here that are helpful for preventing and taking care of hypoglycemia. For instance, we have some peanut butter with crackers, or you can use bread, and we have some jelly here, or some nice low-fat yogurt, or some non-buttered popcorn, some fruit juice. It's 100% juice without all the added sugar, and then things like this other kind of juice over here, protein drink. Things to avoid would be things over here like the honey buns and the snowballs and the white bread, which is not going to give them any nutritional value for the sugar that they're going to take in. And it won't provide them the energy they need to sustain for all the exercise. If they're exercising for more than an hour, then it's important to stop them and check their glucose to make sure that everything is okay, and then give them a snack if needed. You should check after they're done exercising too, just to make sure everything is the way it should be. The effects of the exercise can last for up to 24 hours, so you might need to give them an overnight test just to make sure that everything is okay. You might notice some signs in your child if they do have hypoglycemia. These include if they're sweating, if they're shaky, if they feel weak, if they're lightheaded, anxious, if they act hungry, or if they have a headache. Then you should check their glucose and treat it accordingly. Mm-hmm.
Hey! Yeah, I'm not good at football. You ready? Uh-oh. Ow.
You okay?
You
ready? Uh-oh.
Ow.
You okay?
And you got in my neck.
Good job. Oh!
Hey.
You getting good, buddy.
Throughout the video, we chose to represent a camp for diabetic kids because it provides a great opportunity for physical activity throughout the day, and it also gives kids an opportunity to interact with children with the same illness. Earlier in the film, we mentioned several activities which are beneficial to kids, such as sports, but it's important not only to emphasize the right activities for your child's age, but to focus on having fun as well. And some examples of exercises for preschoolers would be games like Duck Duck Goose, riding tricycles. You can have them hop on one foot and play chase. And then for older kids, play sports, hopscotch, hula hoop. Some strength exercises would be push-ups, monkey bars, climbing. It doesn't always have to deal with weights.
Yeah, a bunch of eggs.
Cardio can be running, walking, jump roping, jumping jacks, high knees. You could also do an obstacle course for young kids. Some ways in which exercise helps kids with diabetes is it provides better health for life. It gives them better coordination, endurance, strength, and flexibility. It helps them respond better with insulin and blood sugar control. It helps their weight management, as well as increases confidence and provides a mental boost. And it's important to always check with the doctor before starting a new exercise regimen. That way the doctor can inform you about any necessary changes in medicine or testing schedules.